Julie, what will you accomplish as an elected official?
Oh, a lot of things I've been wanting to accomplish over almost 20 years, I think. We've come a long ways. I admire the city council. When I look at the kids' city council 20 years ago and the city council today, there's a great diversity. They have their work cut out for them. I'm a very objective person. I'm a very hands-on person. I'm a doer. I'd rather do than talk. What I would like to accomplish, sometimes I really am perturbed, to put it mildly, about how monies are spent. Maybe they're spent the right way, but it always leaves questions in my mind. I want to be able to get in there and really get down to the nitty-gritty of why this was spent for this. A perfect example was Al Littman and the sports complex or something. My eyes were rolling and I'm going, why can't they get somebody in the city to do it? You know, it's common sense. Just a lot of little things that have really puzzled me over the years. I want to be able to communicate with the people. I am a big believer in disclosure. I'm sorry if some of you don't approve of it, and I'm not saying I'm going to go out and break the law. I have never broken the law and I never will. But if I'm in a position where I can give you the facts, I am going to give them to you. Okay? I actually talked to Bonnie. For many years I wanted to do a political column because I have a passion for research and writing. That's my forte, and detail. And I want to be able not just to write a political column, but to say, okay, this is what happened with the Flying J. This is what happened with the sports event tent, and be able to ethically and within the law give you the facts. They may not always want to be what you want to hear, but they're going to be the truth. And that's the only thing, that's the only way I know how to be is truthful. You know, it's the greatest thing I have to offer is my integrity. I've had a cancer society for 13 years. It's never been questioned. If I put half of my effort into the city council that I have put into my cancer society, I'm going to be flying because I believe in what I do and what I say. Okay?
Okay. This question is for Al. What are RDA and MRBI?
Mesquite business, you know, I don't use a lot of acronyms myself. Let me explain a little bit the RDA very briefly. It's a redevelopment agency. Okay. Not all the businesses in, quote, our downtown are in this. People had a chance to opt in or opt out. And then a portion of the money that's collected property taxes went into RDA funding. That's why you see buildings in the downtown, you say, well, you know, why didn't this person apply for RDA funds and improve their business? Somebody else did. Well, they may not be in the RDA. So, and this is in a number of states, and they use bonding and so forth. There's been a lot of controversy about how the money was spent over the years. I have my opinion, other people have their opinions. Sadly, it's not being utilized as well as it could be right now. And part of the reason, I think it was mentioned earlier, is that the businesses have to come up with the money up front, basically, and then apply to the RDA for reimbursement. And a lot of small businesses don't have those funds, and I'd like to see that changed. There's a little controversy going on right now about funding a new position using RDA monies. I have to research that very carefully because on the outside, I don't like it. I think RDA money should be used for, quote, our downtown blighted area, and those were the guidelines that the city, not our city council right now, but were developed in 2010. And they weren't followed for whatever reason, and that is that. Our Mesquite business, whatever we call it, MBRI, I don't go by all this.
MRBI.
Okay, that's a private group that is receiving money from the city of Mesquite in lieu of us paying our own people to do economic development. Now, it was mentioned earlier that why doesn't the council do it? Folks, that is not the job of the city council, whether you like to hear it or not. Okay. The job of a city council by statute, and we do follow the law very carefully, it's not a good idea to violate Nevada's revised statutes, is to be the legislators of the city. Okay, we have enforcement agencies, we have police, we have fire, we have economic development. I'll be the first one to say our city economic development hasn't worked very well. Okay, it has not worked very well. And what we're doing now is nothing unusual. This is done all over the country. In fact, we hear very frequently, why doesn't government get out of private business? I hear this constantly. Now that we've done that to a major degree, we're being criticized, why doesn't government get into private business? Well, you can't have it both ways. Okay. Somebody said, why doesn't the Chamber of Commerce do this? Well, in some places they do. Okay. Some places they don't. Ours has got not a very good record of business development for whatever reason, and I don't criticize what the Chamber does. It's their business. It's private organizations that are part of it. So those are the two functions. Anybody wants to ask me later about RDA in the downtown area and where the money went, I'd be happy to tell them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Bunny, what is your position on the actions of the board of BBWD regarding the termination of Ken Rock?
I went to the meeting that there were 60 or 70 people at. The reason I went was not because I was in support of Ken Rock or not in support of Ken Rock. I'm not a hydrologist. I don't know whether the man has made mistakes in the past or not. Actually, I believe I know more now, having read the newspaper, than I did back at the time I went to the meeting. But I'd like to say the reason I went to the meeting was because I felt that the way the water board handled the situation was hurtful to Mesquite. I think any time that you have a board, whether it's the water board, the Chamber of Commerce, the Power District, anytime you have a group like that that shows themselves acting out, it hurts Mesquite. They could have done it in a more civilized manner, in my opinion, with no question.
Rich, to expand the tax base, what types of businesses would you support?
Well, I think light manufacturing would be ideal, something that capitalizes on our posture on I-15 as a gateway to Southern California and Salt Lake and so forth. I think light manufacturing would fit. Frankly, we're probably not going to get a heavy manufacturer in our town because we don't have a railhead and we don't have natural gas. But light manufacturing, service firms, architectural service, engineering service, I think might be ideal for our town. That light manufacturing would be a focus, and smaller businesses. Individually, they may not have much of an impact, but a number of smaller businesses would have an impact. And for example, a shoe store. I don't know that we have an actual shoe store. You can buy shoes at Beals, and you can buy shoes at Walmart, and you can buy shoes at Jade Sports probably, but something as simple as that. So I think light manufacturing, small business, and see service organizations, service firms.